Hello everyone. Los Angeles, the dazzling city that never sleeps, suddenly turned into a nightmare. The blue skies, usually bathed in the glittering California sun, were now cloaked in thick smoke, turning blood red. The sound of sirens wailed incessantly, interspersed with desperate cries from residents struggling to escape one of the largest wildfires in the city's history. Amid the chaos, Aiden, a firefighter with 15 years of service, stood staring at the towering wall of flames before him. The hot Santa Ana winds blew fiercely, as if breathing life into the ferocious fire. Within minutes, the buildings around where he stood crumbled into ashes. "It's impossible for us to control this," shouted Aiden's colleague, his face drenched in sweat and dust. But it wasn't just the fire that left Aiden in awe. In the distance, he saw a majestic white building standing tall, surrounded by a sea of fire. The Nurul Iman Mosque. The structure seemed to glow amidst the dark, smoke-covered sky, untouched by even a lick of flame. "Look at that!" Aiden exclaimed, his voice trembling as he pointed to the mosque. His colleagues paused for a moment. What they saw defied logic. Every building around the mosque had been reduced to rubble, including the community center just a few meters away. Yet the mosque stood firm, as if protected by an unseen force. Inside the mosque, Imam Sheikh Ahmad and a few congregants were deeply engrossed in prayer. Thick smoke had begun enveloping the area around the mosque since morning, and they knew the fire could engulf their sanctuary at any moment. Yet, instead of panicking, they chose to bow before Allah, seeking His protection. "Allah is the ultimate protector," Sheikh Ahmad said calmly to the anxious congregants. "If we place our trust in Him, nothing can harm us without His permission." Outside, the fire crept closer, consuming everything in its path. Some congregants, unable to evacuate in time, could only surrender to fate. But from the mosque's windows, they witnessed something extraordinary. When the fire reached the mosque's grounds, the winds suddenly swirled in a strange way, forming an invisible barrier around the building. The flames never touched the mosque's walls. Elsewhere in the city, Maria, a local journalist, heard bizarre reports about a mosque that had survived in the midst of the inferno. Maria was not one to believe in mystical phenomena, but her curiosity drove her to investigate. "I need to see it for myself," she muttered, adjusting her camera as she headed toward the location. When Maria arrived, she was stunned. The mosque was completely intact. Even the white paint on its walls remained pristine, a stark contrast to the blackened ashes covering the surrounding ground. She approached one of the firefighters. "What happened here?" she asked. The firefighter shook his head, glancing at the mosque. "I don't know. We saw the fire stop as if something was blocking it. I've been doing this job for years, but I've never seen anything like this." Maria switched on her camera, beginning to document the miracle. Through her lens, she realized that the story of this white mosque wasn't just about a fire. It was about something much greater, about faith, prayer, and an invisible force that defied logic. Maria couldn't stop thinking about the extraordinary sight she had just witnessed. That night, she sat in her car, replaying the video of the white mosque that remained intact amidst the devastation. In the footage, the mosque seemed to glow, standing in stark contrast to the blackened landscape and ruins surrounding it. "Is this just a coincidence?" she murmured, trying to find a logical explanation. As a journalist who prioritized facts, Maria was used to uncovering the truth. But this time, what she had witnessed felt beyond human comprehension. Determined to uncover more, she resolved to return to the mosque the next morning to gather first-hand accounts from the witnesses.